about another edition of Raw Out of 10 right here on the Wrestler's Bait. And Raw, there's a lot of tag team action this week on Raw. We've got a massive tag team turmoil match split into two pieces. And on the whole, there's a lot going on. We've got Drew McIntyre v Sheamus, so it's all happening. And let's get straight into it. So the Raw starts off with RK Bro and Randy Orton calling Bobby Lashley a greedy SOB before they talked about the tag team turmoil match to decide number one contenders. Riddle rambled on about the teams before MVP and Lashley walked out. MVP called Lashley stupid. He called Riddle stupid. That wouldn't be a good idea to call Lashley stupid. And then steps in the ring so that Lashley could finish what he started. Lashley wants the one-on-one match against Randy, and the Viper agreed, but only if the championship was on the line. Lashley and MVP thought about it and decided they would accept it at Extreme Rules, but they would join Tag Team Turmoil tonight. And we started things off with the New Day and the Viking Raiders. The Viking Raiders managed to isolate Kofi and hit some big moves, but the New Day member hit the running knee on Eric and made a tag early on. Woods came in and took control of the match, hitting a double team super kick. Kofi went for a dive, but Viking Raiders caught him and tossed Kofi into Woods. Before back on Raw, Ivar hit a big splash, nearly pinning Woods. However, Kofi came in and hit the Trouble in Paradise before Jinder and Veer came in next. And Woods tried to pin Jinder early, but he kicked out. Back after a break, Kingston hit a top rope elbow and tagged Woods in for a double team. But Xavier got the pin. And the next team out were the Lucha House Party, who, to be honest, I forgot existed. Woods got his knees up from a dive early on, and then hit a reverse sunset flip as they picked up another fall. And then Retribution came out, or Mason T-Bar, whatever they're called now. Woods took a big suplex from T-Bar early on before Kofi came back in. T-Bar and Mace worked over Woods once he got the tagged in, but Woods managed to roll him up to get the win. Mace and T-Bar were angry. They started destroying both teams at ringside because the team came out as well. They started destroying. And back on Raw, Sonya Deville informed the fans that Tag Team Turmoil would continue later, and MVP and Lashley were added to the match. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. It was an okay start to Raw, fast paced, it was fine. Basically put New Day over against lesser teams who you'd expect them to beat, so I didn't really have an issue with it. That was Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. Sheamus was hit a spinebuster early on before Drew hit a neckbreaker and a belly suplex to stay in control. Sheamus went for a brogue kick, but Drew countered it into a future shock DDT, and Drew tried for the Claymore, but the Celtic Warrior got a near fall. Drew hit the white noise on Sheamus and got a near fall before McIntyre grabbed his mask and ripped it off. Sheamus caught him off the Claymore and rolled him up by the tights to get the win. Drew took Sheamus out with a steel mask first and then hit the Claymore on Raw as well. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It was okay, but it just feels like we're kind of going round in circles. But it was a hashtag one contender match for the US title, so I understand why they did it, but it's kind of lowering Drew a bit and it just kind of feels a bit repetitive, to be honest, but it was a decent match. Ripley and Nikki Ash were backstage and decided to call their team Super Brutality before they took on the tag team champions. God knows how they're still tag team champions, like I totally forgot they existed, to be honest. And they isolated Ripley from the beginning. She managed to make the tag to Nikki after a break on Raw. Nikki managed to dodge a sharpshooter before they hit the elbow to Natalya, but Tamina caused the distraction by taking Rhea Ripley out. Back in the ring, Rhea unloaded on Natalya before she put Nikki in a sharpshooter. Rhea hit the Riptide on Natalya to pick up the win. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. It just sums up the state of the women's tag team division, just so poor. Before, Moist TV was back with John Morrison and his guest Karrion Kross, who throttled him. This quickly led into a match. Kross hit Morrison with the Doomsday Saito suplex right off the bat, before Morrison managed to get out of danger and spray Kross with a dripstick. Kross was not too impressed and started tossing Morrison around the ring before sending him outside. After a back and forth, Kross locked in the Kross jacket to pick up the quick win. I'm going to give this a 5.5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. Because what the flip, they gave Morrison a push and they've just done nothing with him, but at least they're getting Kross back on track. Before he got Charlotte versus Nia Jax for the Raw Women's title, Shayna Baszler showed up before the match and said she wasn't sure Nia could beat Charlotte tonight. The distraction allowed Charlotte to get the upper hand early on with a cheap shot, and the Queen was furious at Nia for disrespecting her. Charlotte decided to walk out of the match with her title when Nia dragged her back to the ring. Flair hit a moonsault on Nia before Baszler ran a distraction, and Charlotte got natural selection for the win. Just a random breakup. After the match, Alexa Bliss invited Charlotte to her playground. Flair said she wasn't interested. Alexa then said that she would bring Lily with her. The ring went dark. When the lights came back on, Alexa and Lily were in the ring with Flair. Flair asks Alexa what happened, and she points at the title. Charlotte says she could give her a title shot, but she's not going on with her playground BS, which is fair enough to be fair. I get fed up with it as well. But yeah, 6 out of 10. At least kind of Charlotte and Nia Jax kind of got a natural conclusion to that feud, and I'm interested to see where Charlotte and Alexa goes, to be honest. That was a 24/7 title match between Reggie and Tozawa, which was in the ring this time. Tozawa charged at Reggie early on, but Reggie dodged him using his athletic skills and hit a big move off the ropes. Reggie managed to hit the front flip, seated senton, and got the pin on Tozawa rather quickly. After the match, most of the locker room chased Reggie for the title. However, everyone was in shock as Drake Maverick returned to Raw, and that's all we got. It was very weird. But yeah, Reggie retaining the title, Drake Maverick's doing something. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. And see where it goes, I suppose. Not much to say. Before we got the second part of the tag team turmoil, Mansoor and Kofi kicked it off. Woods came in and Ali took him to the corner before Woods returned with All Up, but it was having trouble thanks to his injured back. Kofi came in off the tag and hit a Trouble in Paradise. Woods went for the top rope splash and hit the pinfall. Before we moved on to AJ Styles and Omos, and they were beating downwards. Kingston came in and was taken down from mid-air by Omos. Kofi managed to hit the Trouble in Paradise on AJ for a near fall before Omos tossed Woods outside and Styles hit the Styles Clash and Kofi took out the New Day to get the win. Before Bobby Lashley and MVP came out next, before Lashley and AJ started unloading on Styles inside the ring. The Almighty went after Omos and sent him into the corner after a brute brawl before AJ was setting up for the phenomenal forearm in the ring, but Lashley managed to avoid it and hit the spear to get the win. So Lashley's now involved in 2 matches at Extreme Rules. I think I kind of know where it's going. He'll be so distracted on the world title match, he'll lose the tag team titles match and win the world title match. But that's just a guess. That's for the predictions video in a few weeks' time, whenever pay-per-view is. But on the whole, it was a fine segment. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Not too many surprises with the result, but I don't think there needs to be. It does create an interesting dynamic heading to Extreme Rules, so I don't really have a problem with it, if I'm being totally honest. But overall this week, Raw gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Once again, Raw, it's a bit up and down this week. We got lots of tag team turmoil, which was okay. But then on the other hand, we did get some decent variation. There were some okay bits from all divisions. I wouldn't say it was mind-boggling to the levels of AEW All Out last week, but it was okay. But anyway guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Remember your thoughts, comments down below, follow me on Twitter. Link description below for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to my channel on the screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace!